Good morning. So I was just sitting here, taking a breath, as we do. And I pulled out a deck that I have not used in a long time. Used to be, I would definitely say, my favorite. It's a very soft deck. I have different decks that can present messages differently. If you think about it, some of their harsher decks, black and white, dark. And then I have a deck like this. And I've always liked this deck. And most people can relate to it. They feel connected to it. It's a deck that it's all the images are of nature and things like that. It just reminds me, again, taking a moment just for ourselves to take that 5 minutes, maybe go outside for a walk, maybe do something like that, but just taking that breath and having that moment. So let's see what we have for today. Let's see what the universe is going to tell us, show us, teach us, give us an idea of, reflect on, all that wonderful stuff. And one last breath. And I'm just arranging some things here. Okay. So, I'm going to take this and I'm going to split it into my 3 stacks. Each one of these a thread going out to the universe. And based upon which thread I pull will be the conversation we'll have. And that will carry out through the rest of our days. And who knows how long it will end up affecting us. You know, if we learned a valuable enough lesson, we take it with us through for the rest of our lives. But I'm going to go see, let's see, what's right on the surface here? What might I not be seeing that's obvious? What's right there? So I'm going to do my 3 in 1. And I'm going to flip them over, as I tend to say, one at a time so I can read it like a book. And I can also use my intuition as I go through reading each chapter. And then by the time I get to the final chapter, I may have thought I knew exactly where these were going. And this just flips everything right on its head. So let's take a look at the first card this morning. We have the 5 of Cups reverse. So the 5 of Cups is about loss. And to show you this card, we have this penguin, and it looks like there's a small chick at its foot. So the 5 of Cups is about dealing with loss, dealing with the pain that goes with losing something. But since it's reversed, we're saying that we're moving past it. So it's something that we're moving beyond. We've all had some kind of pain or, ever since COVID, we've all been suffering through a lot of that. So let's see what the card next to it is, which is the Ace of Swords reversed. So the Ace of Swords is that new thought, that new idea. So with the with the 5 of Cups, we're dealing with the loss. The Ace of Swords is about changing the way we think, but this is reversed. Let's pull this card. Make sure this is a 50-50 deck, right? Oh, no, it's not. Well, yeah, there's... Oh. Told you it's been a while since I pulled this. And here we have the Page of Swords reversed. So, for the most part, this deck is not reversed. I must have looked at a couple in here that were reversed, or that were this way. And when reading, we read with what's in front of us. So if the universe says that this deck has only got a few upright and is going to present these reverse cards, that's what we go with. Because the Page of Swords reversed, that is all that negative thinking. So when there's a loss, we get stuck in our thinking. And that's what's showing us here is we have this loss we're trying to get out of, and it's reversing, so time has passed. But we can't get away from the thoughts. I'm going to turn over the final card here, which is the one major card. It's the Chariot, and it is not reversed. So that's interesting. There's only a few cards in here that are not reversed. So I may have done a reading before and then put the cards in reverse so that there's just a handful that are not reversed. So when we feel a loss, it's hard to get it out of our brain. We have the Ace here all the way up to the Page. So from Ace 1 through 10, and then after that is the Page. And when you go from Ace the beginning to 10, you're supposed to go through a cycle where you start over again. But this Page is a chrysalis here. And being reversed, he's locked in that chrysalis where maybe he's not able to get out of it. Since this is a butterfly reversed, stuck in that loss, stuck in that even though the time has gone by. And then we have the Chariot. The Chariot is the will personified. Loss is hard to get. And one of the reasons why I like this deck, as I said, is because I feel it's a softer deck. This is reflecting a heavy loss or something in the past that to this day it still rents a room in our head. That's something that we just can't get past. And the Chariot is where we finally make that decision to conquer something. Something that's holding us back. Bad things happen to people. And sometimes there's just difficulty in moving beyond it. And that's not, it's just human nature. Somebody else's shoes, you just don't know. We all take loss and pain differently. But it's time to find a new way to look at certain things. It's time to come out of the chrysalis. It's time to be that butterfly. And the Chariot is a strong card. Sixes are about harmonies and improvements. I mean, sevens. Well, sevens are about potentials. This is a 7 card. Potential. It's about taking advantage of those potentials, taking advantage of those things where if we're locked in, we can't. So what this is saying today is that we really need to take a look at what it is in the past, what it is that we may be going through that's keeping us from being able to crawl out of that chrysalis, to come up with a new idea, to move forward, to be able to think differently about it, finally put it into the past. Nobody's holding us back. Whatever happens to people sometimes, and there's different levels. We all feel something. I mean, COVID, I didn't go on a vacation, and I can feel just as bad as anybody else. And my pain is worse than anybody else's because it happens to me. Other people have bigger struggles. And that struggle's the worst struggle because for them, they're the ones going through it. So for some people, this could be what's going on in the Ukraine. It's like, how do you get past it afterwards when everything's said and done? So, if we're struggling to get out of that chrysalis, we can either hang there and then it can just be our entire life. He's stuck. Or with the Chariot. A Chariot, you're part of an army. There's no general that ever had a victory by himself. Right? But somebody's got to spearhead it. So you've got to be your general in your own life. And we've got to find a new way of thinking to cut ourselves away from that chrysalis. Got to find a way to be able to grab that sword up there and use that to find a release. Use it to release ourselves. That sword is the answer to be able to get out of this chrysalis. So how do you reach it? That's the question. How do we reach that answer? Nobody can do it for us. We have to be our own general. But we can also rally the troops to help us, get help, ask people, talk to people. And consider this. What if this is somebody you know and they don't know how to get past it? The cards could be saying that you are the chariot that they need. You're the one that they might need to be able to get past and through and beyond, and give them the answer to get free. Because again, we can't do all this alone. The positive thing out of all this, though, is that the 5 is reversed, which says we know we need to get out of it. And that time marches on. And that after a period of time, we recognize it. And instinctually, we start to take that action. This is just kind of a push. So with that, Again, I hope you have an amazing, amazing day. This is kind of an important spread. If you're not relating to it, then somebody around you is. So either we're the one that's trapped in the chrysalis and can't get out, we're just stuck there hanging, or we're watching somebody do that. It's time to take the action and marshal the will that we have to move forward. So, thanks again.